drink smoothies, sometimes what happens is that in the morning, if you are you want to eat a light breakfast and you want to stay nourished at the same time and nutrient rich at the same time, you can have a smoothie. You need to have slightly bigger glass, and that can really take care of both in terms of your hunger as well as your nutrient requirement. And it is very, very healthy to drink smoothie. And today smoothies are possible to make. If you are a dairy allergic, then you can make it with, soya milk. You can make it with almond milk, and you can make it with also charmagas milk, which is the different seeds. Different seeds, you just churn it with water and you can get an extract which is called MYLK. So that is what you can get. And these are all different types of, things that you can use for your, making a smoothie.
I think also rice milk is there. But
yes.
If the camera can focus here, we have a lot of herbs which we were talking about, which all fall in the category of superfoods. And you have categorically made sure that you have limited portions.
Yes.
So can you take us through all the herbs you've used?
Yeah, okay. So we are starting with what is called as the alfalfa. Alfalfa is a herb and this thing that has got different qualities to it, which I don't want to go into detail of each of these things because it will become too medicinal for me. So it has got definitely nutrients and vitamins which are very good for your health. Then we have wheatgrass powder. So nowadays, everything is possible to make it into a powder. So you know about wheatgrass juice, you are more familiar with that. So this is a wheatgrass powder. Then we have an algae which is spirulina, which is a superfood and it's really, really very, very healthy. Then after that I have shatavari. Shatavari is known as the queen of herbs, that's got many, many qualities which is really, really unbelievable and very, very good for your health. And then finally we have what is called as the Triphala. Triphala is a mix of 3 Ayurvedic herbs, and Mrs. Ramesh will be able to tell you that this has been one of our most staple mixes of Ayurveda. That's what it is. And it's got so many beneficial qualities that I can't even list them out. It's got amla, it's got harataki, and it has got the what is called is the third one is called Bivithaki. Yeah, that's right. So these are the 3 things that it has.
And so flaxseed?
So we have flax seeds which will give the crunch to it. We will add it at the end, and then we have some Indian basil or the holy basil which is called tulsi. So it will give you the punch. So this is what it is. We have papaya and the local banana. So basically what we have done is that we've taken almond milk and a lot of nuts, some nuts, some seeds, some herbs, and with honey and some fruits. That's what it is. So it's not something that I will need an assistance for, but I'd like to call upon Ruchira to come by to stage and help me with at least the first couple of recipes, and then we'll move on to somebody else. And I always love cooking in a group. That's what is the beautiful thing. It's an experience which is therapeutic in its own way. So cooking together is an experience that is promotes a lot of harmony, teamwork, friendship, and there is a lot that can be done when you cook together. So if anybody else also wants to come to the stage, please do come up at any point in time.
So I take a lead from the stage.
Yes.
And we'll head towards the audience for more questions.
Sound one? Okay. This. So the easiest dish to make when you want to have a breakfast, you're not feeling, up to it to cook something that is, takes time or effort and energy. You just assemble some of these ingredients together and, you have a fantastic breakfast. Hi, Sagi. Okay. So, would you like to make it? No, please. So, you will add only small quantities of these things. Half a teaspoon. So, we'll first add the fruits. The papaya. Yeah, all of it. So, the bananas. Then we will add you add all of these powders one at a time, half teaspoon only. Yeah, that's a lot. We add a little lesser than that. Yeah, because we are adding many powders to it. Yeah, that's it. Spirulina. Yeah, and alfalfa finally. We'll add some of the tulsi. The honey, maybe half of that, yeah. Little more, little. That's it, that's it. Thank you. And we'll add some ice cubes. That's a good way to do it. Superb. And we are now adding the almond milk.
This is like a 2 portion for 2?
Yeah, for 2, yeah, that's right.
You want it smooth or chunky?
Smooth, please. So it's ready. So as you could see, it's ready in a jiffy. You know, it's a meal in a glass, so that's what it is. So it can be, cooking can be as simple as that. It has many ingredients, but it is not very cumbersome to make any of these ingredients. They are almost all readily available, and you can simply just assemble them together and churn it with some ice. To add some crunch, we'll add the toasted flaxseed. We'll add some tulsi. And look what I found in the garden. Some star fruit.
Chef, do you know what it is called in Hindi?
Amrak.
So I have a question for Geeta Ramesh. I know that we all take power lunches food to our offices. Can smoothies stay for that long? Can we pack it and take it to our office and ensure that gradually the nutrients are not going away? Basically, when it's fruit, the minute you make it into a liquid, it has to be consumed there and then. You're not supposed to carry it and allow it to stay for a period of time. It will lose all its properties.
Yeah.
And it's not good for your health. You
Yeah.
have to have it scooped, have it there and then only it's good for your health.
So that's why it's called fresh food.
So we see Gaurav moving to the stage because there and then.
So we've avoided refined sugar in this. We've used honey. You could use palm sugar, which is here. You could use, what you call is that stevia, if you want, which is natural. So you can use everything that we've used is 100% natural here. And with the availability of the star fruit here, it has added a different dimension to the whole presentation. We will have, everybody will be serving this to you in some time as we just finish our class. So can everybody make this at home is the question that I'd like to ask. And I want everybody to raise their hands, those who will be able to make this at home. You can? You can? You can make this at home? Yes. So that's what it is. The purpose of a master class is wasted if that food is not learnt and made elsewhere. Otherwise it goes down the drain. That's why we call it non-sustainable classes if they are not made elsewhere. Because if the knowledge is not passed on and if it is not duplicated, if people do not benefit from a class, then there is no point. Then it's a waste of time, effort and energy. So my aim is always to create recipes that you can create at your home very, very easily. You may miss some of the ingredients. You do not have to have all these powders. It is not essential. You may have just one. You may have just two. You may or may not even have any of the powders. So it's not important to have chia seeds. You can have toasted sesame seeds instead. You do not have almond milk, use soya milk. If you do not have soya milk, please use yogurt. So whatever you can get, you can use coconut milk as well. So that is what it is, the beauty of it. When you're using coconut milk, add a little bit of the, what you call is the tender coconut water as well. Instead of the ice cubes, you add a little bit of tender coconut water. Becomes even more the same. The beauty of nature is that, how does coconut contain water in a shell that becomes so hard? And it's something that I have found it so intriguing that it is unbelievable. You have to be, give it to nature, that what nature can do, we can only, probably, love it and imagine and can't imagine, so we can only be enamored by it. That's what it is.
So we can do it part almond,
Yeah.
part tartwakas
Yeah.
as well for
Yeah.
those who are calorie conscious or do not want it to be very heavy
Yeah.
as well.
Sure.
So what is the next recipe we are doing?
So the next recipe that we are doing has an influence of Lebanon.
So
Yes,
can I get
that's right.
designer? Did I pronounce your name right? Please come on
No,
the
no,
stage.
you should be here too.
Please.
So this is hummus Indian style.
No, hummus
This is
Lebanese style.
Almost Lebanese style. Made by an Indian chef.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, sure.
So these
So Rodina had a question for you, Chef Saha. I think
Yeah.
she can ask you directly.
no, I just wanted a list of the ingredients, the herbs
Yeah, the recipe can be given to you. We have not
We are
even
giving
picked out
the
a recipe.
recipes soon
The
enough.
recipe will be given to you.
So
Girls, you okay? You seem to be a little not too happy.
we are serving them
Are
the
you
super
okay?
smoothie soon.
Busy? I'll call. Those who are thinking, they can sit at the back and relax, don't worry, I'll call them here to cook the difficult dishes. So right now you can relax and take it easy. So we're doing the easy things first. Okay, do that. So, the ingredients here, hummus is one of my most favorite, carb. It contains carb, but it's a different kind of a carb. It doesn't come from, wheat or rice. It comes from the chickpeas, and it can be such a filling experience. There are days on which I only eat a small portion of avocado hummus with some crispy lavash. That's what I do for lunch. So that's what I can do. So the thing is that that is enough, and it keeps you full and satisfied throughout the afternoon. You do not need to eat anything else. So it's got the elements of extra virgin olive oil and everything.
has protein as well.
Yes,
I think,
that's right.
I think you
That's
can also explain us how
Yes.
hummus is had back home.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the ingredients we're going to use. I don't know if we use all of them.
No.
But
So this
as
not-
I said, it's
yeah.
hummus Indian style.
Yeah.
It's inspired by Lebanon.
Yes.
So I'm watching to see what
Sure.
what we're gonna
Okay. For the hummus, we will be using. Yeah. We
Only that much we can use that. It will make us smoother.
This is enough. I think this is required. So for hummus, we have only 5 ingredients. So what we will add is first the chickpeas. The chickpeas have been boiled overnight, soaked overnight, and then boiled. And then what we try to do is that we leave it under running water to remove the skin as much as possible. Because we try to make the hummus as smooth as possible. So we have added this. Then we have the lemon juice, or what they call is the lemon salt that is used in Lebanon very often. The tahina paste is here. This is basically a toasted sesame seed that has been made into a ground into a paste. So we've added the tahina paste, and then we will add what is called as extra virgin olive oil. Little bit of extra virgin olive oil and some garlic. And then we will add some salt. Okay, so we will have some ice cubes here. Can I have some ice cubes? So we will add some ice cubes. So that was the best way. This tong doesn't work, guys. The team service team here, I must recommend you a better tong. Yeah, that's it. So have I used the right ingredients now? At the end, yes. We will be putting it at the end as well. Yeah, this I will use at the end. So you will see that what I will do with that. So you use different kinds of hummuses in this thing. There's a traditional hummus from Lebanon, which is called hummus bilam, and that is the hummus with lamb mince. So in Fava we serve many different kinds of hummus. We serve hummus with mushrooms, mix of mushrooms. Then we also serve it with spinach and the greens, which we'll be doing today. Then we also do it with sometimes with crab meat and seafood. We also do it with avocado. So the one that is with the avocado is the most popular. So because we make avocado salsa and then we serve the hummus with it. So it's amazing. The combination of the hummus and the avocado is really, really fantastic. Yeah.
In fact, you have an entire platter for breakfast.
Yeah.
That's the only place I've seen an entire platter given to you. So you can keep on trying as many hummus with kebab there. Is it right, Vikas? Yeah. So you'll find Vikas in Abhijit's restaurant only for hummus. Hi,
So-
Mama. When they are eating healthy.
So the hummus is ready. It needs to be as smooth as possible. If you do not get it very smooth, then what you can do is that you can use a fine strainer and strain it also if you are really very, very particular about your hummus.
But I think people
So-
love hummus with a little texture.
So,
That's what I think.
it depends on the chef and it depends on the style. So, but if you are looking for hummus that is smooth, then you can strain it out. Or if you want some texture, we'll be adding a lot of texture to it right now. So now we will start making the sauteed leafy vegetables. What I have here is spinach and amaranth, which are both local. You can use Swiss chard, you can use kale, you can use any leafy vegetable that you want to use. And we will simply saute it with some garlic and some olive oil, salt and pepper. That's what we will do. So Ruchira will now start the process. We can set this aside actually. We don't want to block the camera.
I'll take Raina with me
Okay.
so that she can come and taste and tell you
Yeah.
if you made hummus right.
Normal oil. Is it extra olive oil? So while we cook this dish, we have to be sure that that the garlic doesn't burn. So we have to just saute it for a very, very short brief period. And what we are trying to do here with the greens is that we are not trying to extract the water out of it, the juices out of it. We're trying to retain it. We'll heat it up very quickly and just toss it, give it a quick toss and just put it back. So that the essential nutrients don't drain out. So that's what we will do. And we'll add the salt at the end, which leads to the leaching out of the the water or the nutrients. Yeah, half of it. Yeah, that's good. So, did you think that making of hummus was easy? Anybody? Yeah? You think that you can also make this at home? So, I just added 5 ingredients. That's all. And believe you me, it's really, really healthy. And I don't think so that except for the extra virgin olive oil, I added anything that is non-Indian in it. So that's what it is. The extra virgin olive oil is now being grown in India. In Rajasthan, there's a huge cultivation. I visited the cultivation and this is near Bikaner. If anybody wants to visit that, it's very essential. It's been done with the help of the Israeli government and it is going to become a big revolution. We hope that in the near future that we will also add Indian olive oil besides all the oils that we have in our repertoire. Yeah, we will add the should be a little higher.
Higher?
Higher, yeah. And we'll add the amaranth.
We're just waiting.
Yes, we're wilting it. Yes, that's right. We'll add some pepper. As you know, Kerala is very, very famous for pepper, and you know, Tellicherry pepper is famous across the world, and it is used in different ways. We use the green pepper, we use the white pepper, we use the black pepper. So it's unbelievable. I've crushed it and kept it. I never use crushed pepper in my kitchen without the pepper mill, because you know, the essence of spice is to grind it as soon as you can, and you know, to get the maximum flavor. Sorry. We'll add some water to it so that there is no burning of the garlic. We don't want to burn the garlic. So it has to be done in high heat. Let the water dry up. Now we'll finish it with some salt. So that is done. Simplicity is the key, as they say in cooking. It may have many ingredients, but the cooking style has to be simple, not cumbersome. So I'll take a ring. So use a little bit of a professional style for plating, you know. So we will take the tong was here, the ice tong will be useful here. So we didn't use it for the ice, but it will be useful definitely for the
Tong.
as a
Plating.
yes.
Amazing.
So while Abhijit Saha is waiting, let me ask Vikas, what is the trick of making interesting dips? What do you do? How do you keep it interesting and, as Abhijit Saha said, exciting?
So I have some hummus which I have put in the piping bag.
So what we do is, of course, there's a lot of Mexican salsa which are interesting, and that's what we are doing. But at home, you can take simple tomatoes or even green tomatoes if it's available in the season to make some interesting salsas or dips with it. Essential will be, you know, you want to give a little bit of tartness or a little bit of smokiness to it. It'll give you a lot of depth to that flavor. Like it's very similar to a chutney, but a smoked chutney. So that's what we have been doing.
So the way you cook, the ingredients used, and
So I'll
how you
add some
present
pork
it.
amaranth now. Some sesame seed toasted. I'll add some paprika. And then I'll add some microgreens.
Did you get these also when you came, Abhi?
Sorry?
Did you get these with you?
No,
They're from here.
they are from here. Yeah.
Oh, they were in the garden.
I have some red basil here. And then I have the extra virgin olive oil. Here you go.
Awesome,
Hummus
chef.
with.
Beautiful.
So I think that again simplicity comes in here, but the ingenuity of a chef comes also into picture. So we are not just making the hummus and serving it on a plate. We are trying to mix different ingredients and try to present it well.
So what do you think?
It's interesting. It's a new way of eating hummus. It's interesting.
Would you like to come up and taste?
One special for you. So I can-
Let me get you a ticket of indulgence today. Geeta, Anji, can she try?
I would like to interfere in her treatment because when it would, contradicted what she's doing. So it's okay. She could make it herself at home and goes back and try what it's going to be like. Yeah.
Great, but Chef Abhijit sir, you passed the test. That's the good news today.
So anybody else on stage now? So the dishes are going to get more difficult. So please try to come as early as you can. Early birds, have a definite advantage in terms of. I'm coming. Oh, okay, cool. Now we'll prepare a dish. The next dish that we're going to prepare has inspiration from the state I am from. I'm a Bengali by birth, but live in Karnataka for 15 years. So I am half Kannadiga, that's point number one. And then I'm now in Kerala, so I have to use inspiration from Kerala as well. So we have a wonderful dish which is called the millet tikki with pomegranate and beetroot pachadi. So that's what it is. So you have, this is what is real superfood. So local plus superfood. So there's nothing, no chia seeds, no, powders, nothing. But it's got the grains which are now considered to be, the lost grains or whatever it is. And then you have, of course, the beetroot, which is, I think, one of the most healthy vegetables. I think Mrs. Ramesh will tell you about, a lot more can tell you about beetroot. Maybe she would like to give her the mic about what are the essential elements of beetroot as in terms of its nutrient quality and value.
Because color is very interesting. It's a fantastic antioxidant and it's very good for purification of the blood. So we also say beetroot juice can be had every day. If you have any blood problems, the hemoglobin is low or anything, you could have beetroot juice. Fantastic. One of the best vegetables to be eaten.
Fantastic. As you know, blood flows through your body and blood carries everything. So if you have purity of blood and if your blood is in good condition, I think that you can stay healthy for a very long time. So we will now prepare the pachadi first. So what we've done is that we have taken some beetroot. This is the grated beetroot. We have peeled it and we have grated the beetroot. And then we have some coconut here. Then we have some shallots and ginger and all of these things. So we'll first cook the beetroot. Okay. So we will just add the beetroot with some water. We're trying to minimize the usage of oil as much as we can. So you can just stir it and you can cover it. Let it once the heat is there. That's enough.
Chef Arun, can you tell us more about pachadi? I think it is one of the kind of chutneys you can have every day for breakfast, dinner, lunch and even midnight snack. Is it so?
Well, I'm watching. Obviously, Chef Saha is doing it with a twist. Pachadi for us is almost a kind of daily food that we have with whatever it is an accompaniment.
Yes.
And it's extremely simple.
Yes.
I just want to see what you're going to do with it, whether there's a twist or it's a traditional pachadi.
I try to keep it as simple as possible. So you will notice that the ingredients that I'm using is highly traditional. So I have not tried to mess around much with the pachadi and not try to do too much. So we have the yogurt and the essential ingredients. So maybe after that you can tell us that what we shouldn't have added or what we could have added.
Sure.
So while the beetroot is the same, we will have to again pick up the the mixing. What we will do is that we have some green chili. Yeah. Sorry. Not all. Then we have the coconut, grated coconut. There's some ginger. We have some curry leaf. Then we have some shallots. Some cumin. And we have some mustard seeds. We'll add a little bit of water. Need to be careful with the beetroot so that it doesn't burn. Yeah. You know, I like cooking with people also because it is easy for me. I can, just stand around while others do the cooking. It's a relaxing way for me. Way away from work. Yeah. Thank you. In some recipes you will find that this is sauteed also with a little bit of oil, and in some recipes you will find that it is not. It's perfectly done. Yeah. We have the spatula. Yeah. So while the beetroot is almost cooked, because we've grated it fine, so it doesn't take a long time to cook. So we will add this mixture. Now we'll have to just mix it well. Mix it properly in all the places, yeah. Now there are two options here. I could have made the beetroot into a smooth puree and then added this mixture, or I can leave it coarse because it is grated fine. So I don't think so that I need to really make it into a fine paste. We have to add now the salt. Please now add a little bit of water and then cover it. We'll allow it to cook for 5 more minutes. Yeah, that's right. Now, the final aspect of the pachadi is the tempering. We have some red chili, some curry leaf, some coconut oil, cold pressed coconut oil, and then we have the mustard seeds. So that will be the tempering for the pachadi. And we will, once we have taken it off the flame, we will add the yogurt to finally to complete the pachadi.
How long will this make?
So this should be 5 minutes altogether. That's what will require. Now we are talking about preparing the tikki in the meanwhile. While that is cooking, we'll keep this aside. We'll only keep the things that we require for the tempering and the yogurt. So please keep an eye. We don't have to cook it for more than 5 minutes. Yeah. So that's what we will do. And we have everything here. Mustard seeds. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now we'll prepare the tikki. So here I have used 3 different kinds of millets. The kodo millet and the foxtail millet, and of course ragi, which is not used as the whole this thing, but I've used it as the ragi flour. So there are 3 varieties of millet that I've used, and I've used for binding the local yam, the elephant foot yam. Your yam or colocasia, very popular here from Kerala. So millet, as you know, Karnataka is one of the largest producers of millet, and ragi is almost a staple there. And it is such a wonderful, miracle food that it is unbelievable. It can keep you healthy on its own, and very little content of starch, and extremely high on various minerals and vitamins. So this is almost looking like it is done. So Okay, so as you can see, this is the yam. We have cut it and boiled it. Then we have the millets. The recipes are there with you. You just soak it and then you can boil it for 10 minutes or so. You want a little bit of bite. And this ragi flour, what we have done is that whenever you use flour and you're trying to see that it doesn't get cooked enough, so you have to what you call is broil it. Basically on a pan, heat up the pan and just cook it for some time. So it gets cooked on its own. So without adding anything.
Was that the trick of making tacos the first day?
Well, I have used the way we do the dim sum making. So we boil the water with the flavorings and we added the ragi flour to it to make a dough. So that is another way we have been doing it. In the sense, I think a lot of people use at home to make the ragi chapati at home.
So
now you want to add something to it?
I'm adding the millets. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I was focusing on the dish, so I will talk about it once we are done with it. So this is some of the ragi flour. It will help in the binding.
Besides the ragi flour, the way you did it, even the rice flour will do the same way. So making the patris or the noodle or whatever.
Okay. We'll add the yogurt.
So we switch it off and then add it.
Yeah, switch it off. Yeah, take it off the flame and then you can add it. Okay, so I've added the 3 millets here. Now I'll add the pomegranate seeds. Sorry, I'll first add the yam because then I will be able to squeeze it a little bit. So no potatoes here. No flour. No wheat flour, no potatoes. So this is almost done to the texture that I want it to be. It's got a binding quality to it. We'll add some grated coconut. We'll add some pomegranate, some coriander powder, chopped coriander, chopped curry leaves, jeera that has been roasted, ginger, chopped. There's some peanut powder, roasted peanut powder. So that's about it, except that I have to now add the salt. So the mixture is ready. Yeah. Anybody wants to come and make the tikki? No, you have to make the tadka. First make the tadka. Yeah. You see that the different colors that you can see in this, it's beautiful actually. Tastes good. I think it's almost edible. There's nothing that I've added is not edible. If you just toss it up lightly, add some sesame oil to it, and then it becomes a salad. So that's what it becomes. So now we'll make the tikki or the cutlets. Sorry. I'll not use the gloves. I don't need it. Make it to the size that you want, you know that almost everything is cooked in this, right? So it doesn't need too much of cooking. Only on the surface we will put this thing. You have to allow the water, the oil to become a little hotter. Yeah. Where's the oil that you use? Add a little more. That's your spatula.
Then we have to fill the.
Yeah, into the pachadi. We could have broken the this thing into two, the seeds, and removed this thing. We will do it now before we add it. Yeah, it's done. You can put it into this. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So the pachadi is ready. Now we'll focus on the millet tikki. Anybody wants to come and make the millet tikki? Anybody is interested? Want to dirty their hands? Nobody? So you continue to do it.
Sorry, you are up for making the tikki? Just try it.
Suresh, welcome.
I'm photographer on duty.
So, do you like tikki, Suresh?
Oh, love them, yes.
Yeah.
And
So have you had a tikki which is of this kind before?
never.
Me neither. So that's what I say, that when you have retreats like this, you can create, you can come up with dishes which you don't normally cook. So I'll definitely be introducing this in my upcoming Indian restaurant, Rock Salt, and this is something that I can introduce, as I said, both as a salad as well as a tikki. So we are now adding, we are cooking with ghee. We cook the pachadi with the coconut, coconut oil. So you are ready? Yeah, you can just start. Don't turn them very often, just put them, let it cook, and then you turn them. Low flame. Low flame. Yeah, sure. Okay. We are done. We'll keep this aside. Clean up.
You can take this also.
As you see, the millets, they have a tendency of becoming crunchy on the surface as you would this thing. It doesn't require any kind of an added crunch. It doesn't require any crumb or anything of that. And it will not be soggy from the surface. It will not be soft from the surface. It will have a crunch because the millets, when they will get in contact with the heat in the pan, they will become crunchy on the surface. So it will have its own crust. I think we can turn it. You seem to be a good cook, huh? Do you cook at home?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
So that's fantastic. Will you cook this recipe at your home?
Yes, for sure.
Where do you stay?
I'm staying in Delhi.
Delhi, okay. I'm taking the next flight there. So be ready. The importance of non-deep frying is that whenever you use the ingredients inside, that should be cooked all. Because when you are shallow frying it all doesn't mean that the heat will permeate all through. So even if you are eating something that is like this, it will not have something that is called an uncooked flavor. Even the cumin that I added was roasted before. So it's already got that cooked flavor into it. See, it's been cooked with very little ghee, and I think that it's getting the magic color of golden brown and the crust at the same time. So while he's cooking the tikki, I'll try to make some base for it. Very thin slices of the star fruit. So I think your tikki is almost done.
So Chef Sir, you said we are not supposed to move the tikki too often in the pan. Is there a reason behind it?
You allow it to cook because you don't need to be fidgety when cooking. You have to be relaxing. So there's no need to be fidgety. We're not cooking the risotto, which requires continuous stirring. So it's easy. Take it easy. Okay. Because then it also cooks uniformly also.
So Gaurav, next time you meditate, you make a tikki.
So what we have put is some star fruit in the base. What I've done is that the pachri has been made into a puree, and we'll use it for the decoration. Okay, so this is almost done. So we are ready to do the plating. So I need the tong. So you're happy with the tikki? Can we plate?
Yes, chef.
Chef,
Sushi ball.
So plating is a fun thing to do or the most stressful thing to do?
no, it's the best part.
Finishing touches.
So what do you look for when you plate?
See, you look for color combination, eye appeal, you look for, different plating in different things. So that's what you do. So now we are not done yet.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe somebody else is not able to.
Sorry, please come back. We qualify in eating.
So the pachri goes on the top.
So you just pick it from the star fruit and you start eating like a bruschetta.
This stuff to pick it. This star fruit and
Since Vikas said it's standing too close, it's taco. It's fresh star fruit taco.
oh yes.
It looks like a nice cake. Muffin. Sorry, Vikanji.
Should I will also try one?
Yeah, please.
Oh, you want to do one sir?
Please do.
I'll do it for my own. I'll just see if I can. Next time I'll be cooking.
This looks like
Next
a deal.
cooking class will be yours.
Oh.
Peanuts, crushed peanuts. Just a moment. Some flowers.
What flowers are these?
This is the drumstick. Star fruit flower.
Star fruit flowers.
इसकी भी पिक्चर ले लेंगे मैं निशा में
चलो मुंह जहाँ टिकी हो
I like the ending of my master class. I know how many people are going to post it at the end of the day.
Now,
And Vikas is posting right away.
my final touch of extra virgin olive oil. That's what.
So there it is. We have cooked an entire breakfast, I guess. A complete one. Power meal. Thank you so much, Chef Saha.
Thank you.
It
Thank
was
you.
a wonderful session, and thank you all for participating in it. We hope to see you in the next season of Healing Recipes. Thank you so much. Thanks and welcome once again to be a part of the inaugural session.